why sustainability?
I tried to understand what are the pains when it comes to real estate. And I don't want to paint the entire industry in a bad light here, but it is sort of sometimes looked at. People have experienced scams. Some of the big developers also. There were a lot of complaints the customers were facing.
You feel a lot of them are, or do you feel that there's a smaller percentage who's doing that?
How can you tell if someone is a good actor or not? If I can say sustainability in a single statement, right, it is not compromising your tomorrow for your today's needs. Until the year 2020, there were some 400 odd projects registered in Telangana under the IGBC program. And between 2021 to 2025, 500 new projects have been registered for IGBC certification.
Is it that it's easy to become IGBC certified?
It was easy then. In India, 15,000 projects have been certified IGBC. Only 700 or 800 are in Telangana. Definitely, are we doing enough? The answer is no.
You've claimed you're the first sustainable project out there. That's a very big statement to make. There are a lot of other projects that are saying. How much of it is true?
They are certified, but they are only doing minimum. The certification is a marketing tool for them. They'll say it's called greenwashing, right? You know.
Exactly. We're green, we're sustainable.
If you see the same developer who says we are IGBC certified, you might go to their office and you see them serving water in plastic bottles and that are just discarded and into the dump yards.
Say I've bought a home at Prosperiti Homes. Does my resale value go up?
Of course it does.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have JP, founder of Prosperiti Home. Today we're going to cover my personal favorite subject, sustainability in real estate. Thanks so much for coming, JP garu. You know, today I'm very, very excited about this episode because it's my personal favorite, right? Like I really want to understand what sustainability truly means.
Right.
And what made you get into sustainability? But let's talk about it.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And I want to appreciate you guys, of course, you and the team behind doing this podcast. Not just this, but I think you've already done several podcasts. And I assume the intent behind the podcast is to create some awareness, within real estate for the consumers to make right choices, where to buy, what to buy, when to buy.
Yeah,
and
I think it's because it's one of the biggest decisions one takes, right? Buying a home,
Probably the biggest, I mean, in terms of monetarily, the biggest one ever makes.
Absolutely.
Of course, there are other key decisions, but this monetarily and, one small mistake, they are stuck for life
Very
sometimes,
long,
right? And we could talk about that, of course, but I think you picked the right subject within the real estate, and I'm happy to talk about sustainability as well.
Yeah.
So about me, I'm JP, like you introduced, I'm one of the directors of Prosperiti Homes. I have several other partners, but I represent them today. My partners and of course my team, my entire organization, I represent them. I'm really proud of all of them because with their support, we've been able to build what we built so far.
Right.
So I have close to about, over 2 decades of experience, 25 years of experience. My career swung between marketing, HR, human resources, recruitment, operations, business development, administration.
Wow, I think you covered it.
I sort of, it accidentally, I hopped from, one domain to the other, not necessarily jobs, but, within the organizations that I worked.
So did you take all of those experiences and put it
Of course,
in Prosperiti Homes?
I mean, now I realize that actually helped me
Yeah.
in building certain things for the organization. Somewhere in 2018, I happened to come into real estate. Actually, my introduction to real estate happened in 2014, which is when I bought a small property.
Okay.
But that also is because I sort of realized that I missed the bus in terms of investment.
No.
I looked back, I had already more than a decade of experience, having made decent money. I did not invest in real estate. Wasn't really wise,
Were you one of those who says that I'm never going to buy a home because there was a phase where people were saying I'll never buy a home, I will only rent because I think after COVID people shifted to buying homes again.
Yeah, possibly. I think, we all come with different backgrounds, different mindsets when it comes to investment and real estate.
Yeah.
Some people are very conventional. They want to invest only in fixed deposits or, gold. They're, they're really afraid of real estate. I'm sure there are some set of people, even today, we have some of them who are really apprehensive about investing in real estate. I don't think I was in that category.
Okay.
It just didn't happen.
Okay.
But I did realize in 2014, and then I bought a small piece of land, and that in a couple of years it appreciated more than what I could imagine. And that's when the Telangana, the market also sort of started growing, right? So it was incidental. It was not something that I really
Mm.
foresaw, and then it happened, but it just happened accidentally. It was a chance. So I realized that this is good. The growth is good, and then because I was doing other various professions and all that. 2018 is when I sort of thought maybe this is something I could do. In maybe not full time, but I was just dabbling in real estate, and then I did a couple of projects with one of my partners who was already in real estate for a long time. That gave me a confidence because his experience and my operational experience, when you club it together, we could probably do something nice. And then COVID actually, in a way, it sort of put some stress on my other opportunities, but it opened up more avenues for me in real estate. Being one of my other partners at some land banks, and then we thought we could do something together. So that's when I think 2022 is when the Prosperiti Homes was born.
Okay.
And 2023 we started our first project.
Okay.
It is right now in Kollur vicinity. It's in 5 acres.
And it started at a time where the market was probably coming down, right?
You mean in 2022?
Yes.
Yeah. 2023 is when the market
2023.
started.
Second quarter of 2023.
Yeah, so Prosperity Homes was born in 2022, but we launched our first project in 2023.
Okay.
That was August 2023 when we introduced our project Ekam to the market.
Okay.
Of course, we introduced Prosperity Homes also to the market as Hyderabad's first sustainable homes. Calling ourselves Hyderabad's first sustainable homes, first is always a bold statement. You need to back it up with data, back it up with action. And indeed, we did that. And August, so that's the government changed in November-December timeframe. August is when, because of elections, the market, for natural reasons, it slowed down. But we launched during that time.
Yeah. How is it doing now?
We are almost sold out.
Really?
Yeah. So out of 468 flats, as a developer, we have a sizable share of flats. I think we roughly have about 30 flats or something, but rest is all sold.
So that's amazing, for the company to be fairly new and to be almost sold out at a time that real estate as an industry is struggling a bit. I want to know is what I'm curious about is why sustainability? Why you choose to be or create a project that is sustainable or put an emphasis on that?
Okay. So I think around 2020, I was, because we had some, free time, it was a slow period anyway, right? So I wanting to foray into real estate, like a full-time construction side. Prior to that, I was more into land sort of projects, but wanting to come into real estate construction side, I tried to understand what are the pains when it comes to real estate. So generally speaking, real estate, I don't want to paint the entire industry in a bad light here, but it is sort of sometimes looked at, people have experienced some sort of scams, or people have lost money, and there have been inordinate delays. So I started researching on all the pain points that customers have. Either the builders taking money and not completing, or maybe using it for other projects, the quality issues, in lack of communication. Before taking the money, the communication is very smooth. After taking the money, customers felt ignored. So I have gone through almost all projects in Hyderabad, starting from even some of the big developers also. There were a lot of complaints the customers were facing. So as I represent my team, I can say this is what, as an organization, we feel very empathetic towards our customers. And we felt that we need to create a company that addresses all these pains, and which is when we sort of, as an underlying philosophy, we felt customer delight should be as a core, a bedrock of our philosophies. And if you could say our intent to solve all these problems, if you can form that as, if you call each of those intentions as a brick, and the mansion that we built with those bricks is Prosperity Homes. And then, one of our founders, one of the directors suggested we need to incorporate sustainability, because it's not just a choice, it's a responsibility. And it also adds a certain USP, certain offering, which is very different from what the market is doing. Though it was not the reason it was not a marketing tool that we thought about it.
Okay.
In a way, we all practice sustainability more or less. But so we sort of wanted sustainability to be one of the pillars, one of the offerings of our company. But as we delve deeper and deeper into sustainability, we got some consultants on board. We started designing the project to resonate more sustainability. And collectively, we all, started making several changes, and then it sort of became like a forefront for our company. So if you look at our office, we've 2-3 years of our operations, we have never served any of our customers water bottle in a plastic water bottle. So any
You
customer,
use those paper cups.
no, not even paper cups. Even paper cups is also not environmentally friendly. It's layered with plastic inside.
Really? Oh, I don't know that. Okay.
It is definitely not maybe better than plastic bottle, but definitely not a better sustainable
I
choice.
always thought, okay, paper, good, sustainable. So that's the thing, right? Like a lot of people don't understand. See, I'm sitting in front of you. I don't understand the cups for actually not sustainable enough. So today I want the audience to understand what it truly means, because I think a lot of them have a misconception of what it actually means, right? Truly means, especially in real estate, because you live in that house.
True. Yeah. I mean, sustainability on the whole, it's a very large topic. I'm no expert at sustainability for that matter. I'm no expert at real estate either. But these are very simple general practices.
What does it mean to you personally? Sustainability. Generally it can be a very broad view, right? Like it's very wide. But what does it mean to you?
If I can say sustainability in a single statement, right? It is not compromising your tomorrow for your today's needs. So I'm consuming whatever right now. I'm using whatever the resources, natural resources today. But I'm not caring about my children, your children and the society. Caring for that. You're addressing your today's needs, and as well as caring for your tomorrow is also, that is sustainability. Like, we celebrated our success. We had some 700-800 people that came. We celebrated the success of our project, and I think we served water in mud glasses. We used mud as one of the sources. So of course you have to use something or the other. You can use steel or mud that basically disintegrates, right? So making some of these small sustainable choices, like I told you, we don't serve water in plastic bottles. When the customers visit our office, we serve them lemon juice, and the lemon gets composted in the compound, and then we use it in our landscape. And if you look at the way we have designed our buildings, every step, there are several factors, whether it is energy, water, waste management, the materials that we are using, and the collaborations that we are doing. There are so many dimensions as a company, Prosperiti Homes, sort of work on sustainability. But again, I think we are not doing enough. There is a lot we can do. I can tell you more about what we are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like you've really, really gone deep into that subject and put those takeaways in your project so people have a better experience, just not today, but tomorrow as well.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So in terms of sustainability, what I wanted to ask is, how does it impact one's life in any way? Because there are a lot of people who do think about, okay, today, okay, if I'm sorted, if this is coming to me for a certain cost, because people are under the assumption that sustainability is expensive. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'll tell you one of the examples in our current project. So what we are doing is in energy, we are using solar. Now, as per the Green Building Council or as per certain government mandates, minimum 70 kilowatts of solar energy is what we are supposed to do in our project. That should just take care of the common area electricity, common area lighting, not the electricity as such. So for that, 70 kilowatts is needed. But our terrace, the project on top of the terrace, we can create approximately 600 to 700 kilowatts of solar. And we are installing that much on our terrace. So we're not doing minimum here. So we're doing as much maximum as we can. So now if you look at that, how does that translate into you as an end user? I'm guessing about 5 to 6 lakhs of monthly savings will be done. You can experience that kind of savings with the solar. So we are doing entire terrace solar in energy. We are doing EV charging for all flats, not just a charging station. So that will enable more and more buyers to more and more consumers to switch to EV option, because it is very convenient. You don't have to wait in a queue for charging, because each apartment will be enabled with EV charging. The community will definitely save in the long run. As part of the collaboration, we ourselves do a podcast where I just switch roles. I'm a host, and then we bring in some guests. And I was talking to one gentleman who they live in Green Grace apartment, and he was telling me that they have earlier they used to pay, I think, some 2 lakhs or something every month, for towards water bill, or 20,000 something. So what they did, they came together and they implemented some sustainable initiatives through which in the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, they have saved crores of rupees in the water bills. He says now they have excess water. They can even give to the neighbors also. So what they did simple measures. They've installed water meters. They have installed rainwater storage. They have done rainwater harvesting that recharges the table. So sustainability is about conserving the natural resources. It's all limited. The energy is limited. the water is limited. So much of limited resources, you're not just blowing them away.
Right.
So we have done water meters, we have done, we are using low flow taps, we are doing waste management initiatives. In our project Ekam, we are aiming to make that zero waste community. I mean, as in not a single gram of waste will go to the dump yards. We are designing the project to segregate dry and wet waste separate. So dry waste can be collected by recyclers. In fact, you can even monetize waste. So the dry waste can be monetized. The wet waste can be composted. That also can be monetized. They call it black gold.
Yeah.
The compost is called black gold. So you can monetize. So we do a lot of awareness initiatives. So our intent is not to just restrict sustainability to our four walls. We want to take it forward. The reason we are doing sustainability podcast. So we do a podcast. We are probably India's only podcast which is just focused on sustainability. So you invite guests who are working on sustainable initiatives.
Nice. Okay.
So it's now it has become part of what we do. In fact, we collaborate with a lot of events and we educate them to partner with other recyclers and send them to waste. Like our GBC 2023 event, we collaborated with them because the everyone sets up these stalls and then the stalls are demolished and that is usually sent to garbage and then goes to dump yards. So those dump yards are polluting air, polluting the soil through which we are eating, through which our water goes.
So it sounds also scary.
I mean, it is scary. So we collaborated with them and then we helped that event to become zero waste event. 8 tons of waste was sent to recycling. So basically, we have to look at how can we repurpose it. Instead of discarding it, how do we repurpose it? The plastic that we get every day, the single-use plastic, the pulses we buy, we discard them. And that eventually goes to, unless it is segregated, it goes to dump yards. I think Hyderabad roughly generates 7,000 tons of solid waste every day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, only I think 15% of it gets recycled and 85% is ending up in landfills. Like I said, we are only looking at our today. We are not worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. But 5-10 years down the line, as the population is increasing, what is that dump yard going to do? What is that plastic going to do? I think in the last 100 years, 200 years, whatever we have consumed, right, it is still sitting in our soil. Nothing is disintegrated, I feel. All the plastic, all the paper, all the steel, it takes years, hundreds of years for us that to. So what we have to do, we have to be conscious of course, consumption, and then if you can segregate it, at the household level also, if you can segregate all the plastic that we have, the milk packets and the groceries, all of that, you can tuck it away in some cupboard or some cover or wherever, some box, wherever. And then there are recyclers who you can go on a monthly visit, take your kids, go to them, show them, what they can do, encourage them to buy less, encourage them to repurpose. So that's all part of sustainability. So is everyone doing it? Of course, no. But we have to. 7,000 tons is a lot. It's only going to.
A lot, yeah.
Delhi generates 11,000 tons.
No way. I mean,
so there is this.
Where is this going?
It's all there is. I think in Delhi there is one dump yard that is as big as a hill or a mountain. I'm not able to recall the name of the.
It's not in the movies that we see.
Yeah, you can't just even drive past that area. Even I think in Hyderabad there is this dump yard somewhere in Jawahar Nagar, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You cannot go there. It's very gross. So of course you see the oceans are filled with plastic. The marine life is dying because of plastic.
Yeah.
Eventually it all goes there. Right? Somewhere it has to go. It's either going in our soil or it is going into the oceans. So now I think from the time we started our office, we probably had 2,000 people, as in the form of customer visiting. If we chose not to give water in plastic bottles, as a company we saved 2,000 bottles going from the landfills, going to the oceans, going to the rivers. So those are all the sustainable choices we can make. And I think you were asking, is it expensive? It is expensive initially, but it's like an investment. Like for example, if you were to install solar, if it's an independent house also, if you choose to install solar on your terrace, you will get your money back within 1 to 2 years. There's no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you have to also remember, after the second year, from third year onwards, assuming the life of solar is some 25 years, for 23 years, your electricity is free. You got all your money back in a couple of years. Same thing with our apartments.
I think a lot of people are a little hesitant, to truly embrace sustainability as well. One is that initial investment amount that you put in. And when you say solar, again, I'm going to talk as a very layman, saying that, okay, summer is going to be great. But what happens when this is no sun and, during monsoon, then we'll have to go back to electricity. So you're just, again, going back to paying bills.
I mean, something is better than nothing, right? I mean, especially for us, I do agree, maybe monsoon time it is slightly dull, but I think by and large we have a sort of a mix of tropical climate. There's nice and sunny. Hyderabad, thankfully, we have decent climate. It's not too sunny.
I think right now Hyderabad is
It's definitely, I think one of the reasons why a lot of companies are coming to Hyderabad is because, of course, Bangalore is definitely better climate, was better probably.
I think we are even now.
20 to 25 years ago, it was like a paradise. Now I think I was reading some joke. Somebody was reading it to me that some guy dropped his friend in airport. He was flying to Dubai. He says, "My friend already reached Dubai. I'm still stuck in Silpur Junction."
I'm sure it's true.
In Hyderabad, of course, there is traffic here as well, but it's not as
But the
bad.
infrastructure is better than Bangalore in terms of roads and the flyovers.
ORR is really one of the jewels for Hyderabad. Or now RRR coming up, Regional Ring Road. It's going to be even better.
Yeah.
You can do some part, right? You don't have to, like you said, people are hesitant, but I'm happy that people are making those sustainable choices as well.
You feel a lot of them are, or do you feel that there's a smaller percentage who's doing that?
I don't know, but I just want to be optimistic. See, we can always think or just be on that negative side thinking nobody's doing it, nobody's caring for it. But I would like to look at the positive side, and I want to appreciate people who are already doing it. I want to thank all the people who bought in our project. They know this is a sustainable project. They made that choice. And so regardless of the percentage, I think we just need to congratulate, appreciate people who are already doing it, and the number can keep growing. I mean, if you look at last 2 decades, the numbers are definitely worsening. There is no doubt. I think the only way we can increase this is by encouraging each other, appreciating each other, helping each other to be more sustainable. So there are some people who are making those choices. I know a gated community. One of my, part of my project's landowners, he stays in a gated community somewhere in, I think, Bandlaguda or somewhere. So they have pooled money somewhere, I think some 2-3 crores of money, maybe 400-500 flats. You invest 5 lakhs each, and then they did solar. Now their entire project's electricity is now driven by solar, and they are saving 4-5 lakhs. Now 4-5 lakhs, you multiply that to 12 months, that's about 60 lakhs. In 3-4 years, you're getting your money back. Right. Even in our project Acom, like I said, the mandate was only for common area lighting. It should be solar. Now with whatever we are installing, it will take care of the entire common area electricity, including elevators, pumps, motors, everything can be taken care by the solar that we have installed. So technically for the community's common area electricity, it's free of cost. Okay. Same thing with rainwater storage. The mandate is 140,000 kiloliters of rainwater storage is what we have to do. So we collect the rainwater. This is not done by all communities, all developers, because they are not part of the IGBC. If you are part of IGBC, which is Indian Green Building Council, they mandate certain things that you have to do these things. So as per that mandate also, we have to do 140,000 kiloliters of rainwater storage, but we have built 550,000 kiloliters. So what happens is all the terrace water during the rainy season, it comes and gets it's stored in the rainwater storage tank. 550,000 liters is a lot. In case there is any drought, I'm 100% sure this community need not rely on tankers. They can reuse this water. And what we have done is, if there is excess rainfall beyond 550,000 kiloliters of rainwater, the rainwater goes into roughly 20 to 25 recharging pits that we have again done in the project.
What are recharging pits?
Just you dig
deeper, like
deep holes with certain mechanism, and the excess water goes to those recharge pits, and then it recharges the groundwater table. Because of what we are doing, societies or projects within half a kilometer radius of our project will not have water problem, because we are recharging not just for us. We are
it's the ground
itself. Overall table.
So what happens? So if an existing project wants to become sustainable,
they can become.
How?
They can become, but it is not as easy as if it is done in the beginning, which is what we are doing.
Right. Yeah.
Like for example, there are a lot of communities now. Let's say solar. If all the any existing community, all the society, the 100-200 odd people, they come together and decide, hey, let's do solar. They can all pool money and they can do solar. But they may have certain challenges, because for solar, you might need an additional transformer. Now, would that community have space for the transformer? That can be a little challenging. Now, because we are doing it from the beginning, from the design phase, we are earmarked for a transformer. Let's say now the community decides let's say an apartment decides to have a rainwater storage. Now they collect all the rainwater from the terrace.
Where do they?
Thousands and lakhs of kiloliters. You have to dig a water tank. Now where will you dig it? Now for us, we have dug it under the parking in one of the towers. So there is one entire floor of a parking in one of the towers is rainwater storage. On top of it, we have parking. We've been able to use that at the design stage. Now, if a new community wants to do, they may not be able to do it as efficiently as we are doing, as much size as we are doing, but they can still do it. See, something is better than nothing. So they can still do a rainwater storage for any drought-like situations. They can always reuse it for plants. We use some of this, we treat the water, all the sewage water, it gets treated. And that's
reused.
and reused in again flush tanks. So all of that mechanism can be done from day one. But if some community wants to do it, definitely it is not as easy as it would be at the beginning.
But there are only certain things that
But you can do it. You can do it. Like there are communities that are now doing dry and wet waste segregation.
Yeah.
If you don't segregate dry and wet waste, it is very inhuman situations that we are creating for the even rag pickers or the safai karamcharis or what you call scavengers.
And even for ourselves in the future, I mean, and for the generation going forward.
Yeah, the problem is unsegregated waste is a problem. Now, for example, like I said, Hyderabad generates 7,000 tons of waste every day and we are only recycling 15%, but the capacity is roughly 60%. So 35 to 45% is not being utilized. And the reason we are not able to segregate that, as soon as the dry waste gets contaminated with wet waste, it is unfit for recycling. You have to maybe incinerate it or whatever. So it's always, after I got to know about it, I always, let's say when I'm ordering from a restaurant, sometimes you can't avoid it. They come in plastic containers. Once we consume it, you discard the waste in a wet waste bin.
You empty the box and then
we wash it. So you wash it and then put it in a dry storage. It can stay there because it is not contaminated, because it doesn't have food particles. It doesn't get spoiled. You can probably keep it aside for a month or 2 months and then put it in, give it to recyclers. Now there are some of these recyclers, they are recycling the plastic and they are making furniture. They are giving it to government schools. In fact, we are contemplating on doing an initiative, Prosperiti Homes, where we'll be buying these tables, recycled tables from these manufacturer recyclers and donate it to schools or underprivileged places. I don't know, maybe Anganwadis or some NGOs.
Yeah.
Sometimes one chair is probably equal to 2,000 polythene covers. Collectively, we all come together, which, like I said, I want to say that people are coming together. If you look at in a market like this, in close to less than 2 years, 18 months, if we have launched a project as big as 5 acres and 85% of the inventory is sold out, it is because people have recognized, customers have recognized that there is value in sustainability.
But did you find that a challenge for them to find value in sustainability? Did it take a lot of time?
Convince them and all?
Yeah.
Honestly, some customers admitted that when they came and when they saw, they did not know so much about sustainability. Again, there is a difference between, I think, uneducated and ignorant, right? I find customers, they're not arrogant or ignorant, meaning they know it, but they're doing, despite knowing it, they're doing it. It's not that case. Most of them
maybe don't understand the impact of it.
Uneducated, I would say. In that segment, they are probably uneducated. When we educate them, when we tell them what we are doing, I have not seen any customer who's not mesmerized by how this community is going to look like. It is very small things, like, for example, we have done cross ventilation in almost all bedrooms and bigger windows than what are normally done by any other project. So that allows air ventilation, light ventilation. You have because of air ventilation, you have fresh air, and of course the external air you cannot do anything, right? But at least if you give that,
there's a flow of air.
There's a flow of air, so you breathe better air. And then if there is enough, because of bigger lights, you'll not turn on the lights during daytime, so that consumes energy. And overall, I think it gives you a lot of positivity also, right? And so these are all some of the very minor changes that we have taken care, and customers do appreciate. If you ask me, I mean, obviously everyone has not bought, right? I said some 2,000 odd people have visited us. Everyone hasn't bought. 90% of them have not bought. And I don't say just because they did not buy, I cannot say they don't appreciate sustainability.
Do you feel there's enough awareness out there for people to understand that why it's important to them or the kind of impact it has on you?
No, I think there isn't enough. But there is some information, some awareness. We have this Indian Green Building Council that we closely work with them. Our project is rated as a platinum rated, pre-certified for platinum. So there are 4 levels: certified, silver, gold, and platinum. Certified is the bare minimum, and platinum is like highest.
Like you meet lot of other
parameters.
Yeah.
Now, how do you decide? How can you tell if someone is a good actor or not? Like he gets an Oscar award, for example, which means he's like the best actor.
Yeah.
So how do you know if a building is like displaying or exemplifies highest standards of green building? If a building is pre-certified or certified for platinum, you know all the green aspects have been taken care. Right. So we work with IGBC, and as per the data I have, until the year 2020, in Telangana, there were some 400 odd projects registered in Telangana under the IGBC program. And between 2021 to 2025, which is just in less than 4 years, 500 new projects have been registered for IGBC certification.
So that's a good sign.
That's a good sign. In 5 years, taking over, whatever odd years.
What is it that it's easy to become IGBC certified?
It was easy then. It is easy now also. It is just that, like you asked, the awareness has increased. The IGBC is doing a lot of awareness. The government is also fairly doing some awareness campaigns. There are some banks that give you 0.25 additional rebate if your project is a sustainable project or certified by IGBC. So there is definitely a lot of awareness happening, but it will take some time for it to catch, right? I mean, of course, 2014, the central government started Swachh Bharat initiative, right? Yeah. Did it accomplish? Is it a failure or a success? I think it's a mixed bag. To some degrees, it was successful. But again, the civic sense also should come.
I mean, that's an individual.
It's a civic responsibility as well. But in India, 15,000 projects have been certified IGBC. Only 700 or 800 are in Telangana, and Maharashtra has 7,000. In Maharashtra, government sort of mandates IGBC certifications. There is a different mechanism there. There is a push from the government. They will not give you OC if you don't meet certain criteria and all of that. Still, I think I don't want to compare with Maharashtra and feel bad. I want to compare with what we've been, the journey so far, and then the progress we have made. Now, IGBC cannot force a developer to take certification, right? But yet the fact that the number has doubled in the last 5 years is a welcoming gesture from the developer fraternity. Back then, until 2020, if it was some 25 crores of SFT, now it is almost some 150 crores or 15 crores of SFT. I don't know the exact number.
I mean, we've come a long way, but we have...
Yeah, of course, there is a long, long way. There is no doubt.
Okay. So you were talking about water. But what I want to come to is from 1979 to about 2023, the water percentage has come down by 61% because of encroachment, right? With that happening, is Hyderabad able to cater to the, the number of units that are totally here? And I know people are buying water tankers. I think the summer has been slightly better than others, shorter, I would say, not better, but shorter than other summers. But how do we foresee what is going to happen with, if you're not doing any of, rainwater harvesting or any of these things? What do you foresee happening with also, amount of water I mean, 61% is a lot.
Frankly, I don't know the numbers as accurately as you said, but of course, there has been encroachment of lakes. We have not been very conscious with our usage of water. Okay, we are drawing the water, but we are not depositing. We are not thinking about recharging the water. We are not, at least most of us, we are not conscious. And of course, everything being centralized, one place you have these high rises coming up. Of course, I represent that community which is building those such dense communities. Frankly, as a developer, I don't know if there is something that we can control. I mean, we cannot definitely recreate new lakes, or we cannot definitely evacuate those places and come up and restore all those lakes. It is not possible. But even if you are a independent apartment, even if you're an independent house, I'm very sure 99% of independent houses, they do not store rainwater. They do not have recharge facilities. They do not have solar. They do not segregate the waste. I'm sure it is easily 99%.
Wow.
So if we continue to be on the same path, then definitely the future looks grim. Because naturally, right, we are only drawing. Now, earlier in 200, 300 feet, even 150 feet, you would see borewells going not more than 150 feet. If you're talking about numbers of 1980s and 90s, 50 to 100 feet, you'll find borewells. Now people are going 1500, 2000, 3000, which means the water table is depleting and we are not doing enough to recharge that water table. So collectively, like I said, in our project, we are doing rainwater storage, then excess we are recharging the table. Collectively, if all communities do it, whether it is an independent house or an apartment, unfortunately, I think even some of the latest residential projects that have come into the market, they do not have such rainwater storage or rainwater recharge facilities. Like I said, I don't want to say they're ignorant, but let me say they are probably not conscious enough, not unaware or not thought about it so much, but we all have to start thinking about it. Otherwise, I think we'll be looking at water scarcity. You know, right? Yeah, but I don't want to, obviously we have many years to live. We have our children who we dearly love.
But eventually it's for, you want the next generation to have a good, I think everybody has a very comfortable living, right? Like as of now, you have water, you have everything that a person would need, but not to have it is I mean, it's water, right? You can't live without it.
Now you can live without food for some 30-40 days, like yesterday, but water, not beyond a couple of days. You cannot live without water for so long.
Exactly.
It's the source of our life, so we have to conserve it. Definitely, are we doing enough? The answer is no. But hopefully through these initiatives, through your programs like this, there are a lot of government initiatives, there are a lot of NGOs that we personally work with. They're doing so much of...
So what kind of initiatives is the government taking?
Government started, previous government, I remember they distributed dry and wet waste bins. That I think they installed a lot of dry and wet waste bins. But I think because of lack of civic sense, it was not, I think was not successful, I would say, but it was a good effort. I think from education and the schools itself should start doing that, right?
Like let it be a sustainability, let it be a subject itself.
Yeah, you can do that. I was looking at some audio, some video. I think Paris with very small population attracts I think some 25 lakh visitors annually or something. It's a big number. And us having this much population, it's probably some 11 lakh visitors. And then because of lack of civic sense, we are not very tourist friendly. It starts from, of course, hygiene, neatness, and the way we are conducting ourselves. You cannot change a 40-year-old or a 30-year-old. We have to inculcate that at 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, teach children. All of these developed countries like Singapore and all these places, they are taught in schools. They are taught to some of the places in Japan, all the students, they clean their own washrooms. So obviously when you have to clean your own stuff, so you will be more conscious. So such initiatives can be brought here as well. I do see some initiatives happening, and like for example, we have one program that we supported, which is done by government in Ahmedabad. There is a tiger reserve called Ahmedabad Forest. Are you familiar with it?
I've heard about it.
So it is somewhere towards Srisailam side. And it's a tiger reserve. It's the second largest tiger reserve in India, but it is not as popular as the other tiger forests. You may have heard about Jim Corbett, Bandhavgarh, Kana, many national parks. Not as much about Ahmedabad, though it is just 2 hours drive from here. And there are enough number of tigers. The government noticed, the forest department noticed that the animals, the cattle, the animals, the wild animals, they are dying by consuming plastic. So it is affecting the ecology. And I think last year, July 1st onwards, government banned plastic in that entire region. No single-use plastic. So you go to that region, plastic bottles are not allowed. You cannot carry plastic.
I think Ooty adapted this many years ago.
Ooty did that, and there are some of other places also they have done it.
Yeah.
They do not have even plastic bags, even at the grocery stores, newspaper bags. So Ahmedabad Tiger Reserve did that, and Prosperiti Homes sponsored that initiative. If you go to Ahmedabad area, you will see posters saying plastic is prohibited, and initiative sponsored by Prosperiti Homes. So we installed some 100 posters in that entire area. So government is doing that. If you go to the check post, you will see tons and tons of plastic that is seized or stopped by the police, and that is again sent to recycling. So despite that region being prohibited, plastic prohibited, people do carry, they sneak plastic. If you go drive through, you will still see some plastic lying around there. I mean, people, I think they sneak into it, and we have to understand, we have...
according to me, that's ignorance. Or maybe, like you said, not enough.
Could be negligence or
not enough awareness.
Many things. Yeah.
From a developer's point of view, do you think how does it benefit you, right? Because you said that there is that initial investment that goes in. So how maybe a lot of builders are not doing it because there's more that they need to shell out to, to produce a project that's sustainable.
I think, again, people have not thought about it. Developers are not maybe conscious enough of this. If you just do the numbers right, it is making a project more sustainable, or doing all those things, it will only cost you 2% of your total cost.
You mean 2% more?
2% more.
Okay.
Even if you want to accomplish, maybe gold or a platinum standard, right? It should not be more than 2 to 3%. So considering, let's say your total cost is 5,000, 6,000, whatever that, you consider all the landowner cost and all of that. Let's say you're arriving at some 5, 6, 7,000 rupees. 2% is what, 100 to 150 rupees. So when we decided to make the project fully sustainable, we were also looking at the similar numbers, about 2%. Our intention was, even if we are able to, in terms of sale value, if we are able to get the same value or at least half the value, we are happy. If we don't get also, we are happy, because it's a responsibility for us as a developer to equip that society to be sustainable. But I can tell you confidently that the kind of admiration people have shown towards our projects, if they're sustainable project, I would say it has, whatever we've invested towards sustainability, we have received that in terms of sale value. What else does this developer want, right? We are conserving nature, we are using energy, natural energy, clean energy, we are conserving natural resources. Customer is happily paying that money. You can take pride as a developer. We Prosperity Homes, we take pride for doing this sustainable project, and we are getting that pride as well. And somewhere or the other, I do believe that making this project sustainable has given us that edge, and it has made us stand out amongst all the other projects in our vicinity, which is why we are sold out. I mean, last 1.5, 2 years being sold out is not.
I mean, that's a very different story I'm hearing, right? Because everybody's been talking about how real estate as an industry is struggling now, right? So that's one success story, and it being sustainable as well. See, you've claimed that you're the first sustainable project out there. That's a very big statement to make. There are a lot of other projects that are saying it. Right? How much of it is true? So if I'm just, as a project, IGBC certified, I'm not platinum or silver or anything, is it enough? Is that called sustainable?
I can break that down into 3 categories. So let's say there is one set of developers or projects that are not IGBC certified. Like they're not doing anything on sustainability. No solar, no water storage, no water meters, nothing. That is one category. Second category is they are certified, but they are only doing minimum. The certification is a marketing tool for them. They'll say it's called greenwashing, right?
Exactly. We're green, we're sustainable. If
you see the same developer who says we are IGBC certified, you might go to their office and you see them serving water in plastic bottles and that are just discarded and into the dump yards. So there are some developers who are certified. But if I say the third category, I would say we fall into the third category. For us, sustainability is not a marketing tool. It is not the minimum. We want to do the maximum. It goes beyond us. And as a developer, it all starts with us. Like I told you, right? If an existing community wants to do solar, it's very challenging for them. So as a developer, it is our responsibility to do it at the source itself. So there is definitely a necessity and need for such developers. So when I say we are Hyderabad's first sustainable homes, it is not just we are doing maximum in all possible ways. I have not personally seen any project that has done the entire terrace of solar from day one, 2 or 3 times more rainwater storage, smart water meters. You can, basically community will be charged for the water they consume. And it's not, the idea is not to make money by charging water for the customers. The moment you know that you're going to be charged for the water you consume, I think even Mukesh Ambani will be conscious, because it's not free, right? You are conscious. The moment there is a price to it, it's conscious. So are there some developers or apartments which do solar? Yes. Are there some people who do water storage? Yes. But is there any developer who does all of these things together and at the same time, as a DNA, as their regular practice, they follow sustainability? I have not seen anyone, which is why I say we are the first ones who started talking about that.
What you're saying is you've gone beyond platinum.
We have gone beyond platinum, and not with an intention to score something beyond platinum. I'll give you an example. We do all these expos, real estate expos, right? We have participated in the last 2 years in 5 or 6 expos. So what we do, every expo, if you have ever been to an expo, they use plywood for the stage, for the ground, right? They use plywood. From the first expo itself, we started using plastic tiles. Those plastic tiles have been repurposed from chocolate and biscuit wrappers. Okay, so those plastic tiles are recycled. Point number one. Point number two is after we install that as a flooring, I can even share you some images. After we install that flooring, we uninstall it and then we store it in our warehouse and then we reuse the same. It is our 6 expos we have used the same tiles as against others who use plywood and they discard it or demolish it and then
there's a new set next.
Then they discard it and they get a new set every time. And then we ensure that when we use expos also, we manufacture the banners in cloth.
So you reuse it.
We don't reuse it, but it is better than flex. Flex, it cannot be disintegrated.
It's plastic.
It is plastic, yeah. But we use paper, and some of the neon lights of the logos that we use, usually that also is discarded by the exhibitors. We take out those neon lights and we reuse those neon lights again in all our expos. So we see what can be reused. So am I expecting every developer should do it? Maybe no, but if every developer can start thinking towards that, it is not a minimum. How can we be a more responsible and sustainable developer? Everyone can come up with their own ideas for sure. But I told you those 3 categories, right?
So someone who is not IGBC certified is bad. I mean, I'm not saying they are bad. That category is bad. I mean, you'd rather at least be here, that this is not good enough.
Right.
You will have to do more.
Right.
Is that
having an IGBC is a scorecard. Now there could be some developers who are not IGBC certified. Maybe they've installed solar. I wouldn't know that. But if they come into the umbrella of IGBC, if they certify themselves, IGBC can tell them, what more can they do. And trust me, it is not expensive. 2% of construction cost, I don't think it's so expensive. And especially when the customers, you can load that into your sale price and customers will happily pay because they are going to live in that community, right? I feel I'll take a lot of pride, for living in a community that is generating clean energy, that is conserving natural resources.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, so while you set everything up, right, does the maintenance go up by a large extent? Although you're saving up in terms of, the electricity bill, maybe not buying water and all of that, but does a lot of resources go into maintaining all of this?
No, I think maintenance drastically diminishes. The cost of maintenance is drastically diminishing. Let's say, for example, for maintaining these, let's say solar or water meters or so rainwater storage and all of this.
And the sewage.
Everything. Let's say my cost is, let's say, for example, 1 lakh or 2 lakhs. But because I'm doing that, my savings are also more than 2 lakhs. Sometimes it is not even 2 lakhs. I can easily say 5 to 7 lakhs of savings for our project. You can expect 5 to 7 lakhs of savings per month. And the operational cost could be definitely not more than what you would be saving. Solar doesn't need, such a regular maintenance. Usually the panels last for 20-25 years. The technology is advancing. Earlier, let's say if you could do in say 1 square feet, let's say you could do X. Right now with some new technology, in the same 1 square feet, you can do 1.5 times of solar energy. So the technology has improved, the modules are improving, the innovation is happening. So it will not exceed. I feel it will not exceed.
No.
You can definitely save.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of commercial, do you think a commercial project can become sustainable as well? Anything commercial, corporate, apart from residential?
Of course they can. There are godowns that are IGBC certified. A railway station can be IGBC certified. The terminals, bus terminals, or the school buildings, office buildings, manufacturing units can get IGBC certification done. When you do interiors for an office, that also can be IGBC certified. So basically what you're doing, let's say, you're doing an office can be certified platinum for their interiors. What it means is you have used a certain materials that are less toxic. For example, in our project, we use something called VOC paints. Low VOC paints. They have less fumes, less harmful for your respiratory health. So when you use those low VOC paints and use certain materials, that can give you a rating. And when it comes to office buildings, I think more than awareness, it is sort of mandate. Most of these MNCs, when they opt for leasing, they insist that you need to have certain energy certifications. And usually it is called LEED, LEED. LEED is more like US IGBC or US GBC, United States Green Building Council. They have something called LEED. And most of the office buildings that you see in Hyderabad or for that matter in India, they're usually, especially the big ones, they're LEED certified. because for the US MNCs or the other MNCs, for them LEED is mandatory.
So that's a good thing for
that's
us.
a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing for us.
Like as a city, if they're coming here, so they become sustainable in some sense.
Same thing. Let's say, for example, it's more like a customer is buying in a project and the customer is insisting, I will buy if you are IGBC certified.
I mean, I wish it becomes
If the customer starts doing it, all developers will start adhering or taking certification. And there are a lot of consultants that will handhold you how to get the certification done. Like there is something called EPI, Energy Performance Index. So every building has a certain EPI. The lower the EPI, the better it is. In our project also, the EPI is very low. How much energy we consume, right? For example, instead of using a regular cement bricks, we use what we call red bricks, red hollow bricks.
The ones with the 2 holes.
More than 2 holes actually. Okay. And it reduces the energy inside. It reduces heat almost about 8 degrees from outside inside, which means if outside is 40 degrees, inside it will be 32 degrees. Sometimes even without AC and fan, you have a very pleasant. So that basically means you're consuming less energy. Any building that has lesser EPI is more sustainable. And we ensure that all our projects are designed in a way to have very low EPI. Now we are coming up with 2 upcoming projects. One is again apartment project in our vicinity and a villa project in Maheshwara.
Is it going to be sustainable?
Absolutely sustainable. And we want it to be sustainability taken to the next level. What else can we do? What more can we do?
What more than you've already done?
I think that is definitely because of what we have found in the market. There is it's a niche, it's a USP I think for us. That customers are recognizing also. And this usually I tell my team also when people ask, you say this is the USP. For Prosperiti Homes, sustainability is a USP. What if other developers also start doing sustainability and you lose the USP of your company? And I always say that is one USP I'm very happy and I'll take pride to lose. Because everyone else is doing, what more do you want? I mean, every developer eventually they will sell, right? If they're all selling because of sustainability, I'm a happy man. I don't have to do, if I cannot do any more projects also, I'm happy. As long as, we're all doing the same. This city is improving. Now I will know there is the water table has increased. We may not be able to create new lakes, but we can always recharge the existing table.
Right. Yeah. So in terms of materials, right, for a developer, what should one use to make it sustainable? Like you said, red bricks, right? What else? And you spoke about the paints as well. Like
red bricks is one thing, and then of course the paints. One thing we are doing is not the material we are using, but I would definitely say, I can even send you some visuals. I'm sure you can recall also. When you're going on some roads, you see a lot of construction waste that is lying on the sides of the roads like heaps.
Yeah.
That's called construction and demolition waste. Sometimes the demolition waste comes there. Sometimes the construction waste comes there. And I see that lying, on the streets forever, like years together, nobody is picking it up. And some people, I don't know, some developers or construction folks, they silently come at nights and dump it on the roads. What we are doing, Prosperiti Homes, in our project, we have something called construction and demolition waste. So when you're, let's say, doing some plastering, when you're doing some brickwork, there are some leftover bricks, and there is some waste, some concrete and all of this, right? So we collect all of that. We put it in something called construction and demolition waste machine. So it makes it into smaller pieces. We reuse those smaller pieces as fillers within the compound. We don't demolish it. I mean, we don't basically discard it.
You're actually not just not wasting, but you're
reusing
and using it somewhere instead of buying it.
Absolutely. Right? There are a lot of areas in the gated community also. There is Mother Earth. Sometimes you have to increase the level. Sometimes you have to use some fillers. This construction and demolition waste can be reused. Otherwise, people are just discarding it on the roads because there are recyclers who will recycle the construction and demolition waste. They're called C&D recyclers. Government has set up those C&D recyclers in partnership with certain private companies. The developers are supposed to send this construction demolition waste to those recyclers. But those are sort of in outskirts. They are a little far away from these sites. So people secretly
just
dump it somewhere and then they vanish, again causing more unpleasant sight to the residents, causing more pollution, causing, it is not nice to look at also. But it's a choice. So what we did instead, we started reusing it. We started repurposing it. There is again very small fraction of cost difference, but as a developer, you have to take that responsibility also, right? So some of the things you can use as a material, you can use some of the things, and some of the things you can sort of look at reusing some of the materials that you're already doing also.
Got it. It's actually a true sense of recycling. You can just keep going on and keep reusing all of the materials in your daily life also, right? But what I want to know as a buyer, say I've bought a home at Prosperity Home, right? Does my resale value go up?
Of course it does. You look at the cost that we are selling right now in our area. I can confidently say we are probably top 2, top 3 sort of highest selling in terms of velocity, sales velocity, in terms of price, and that naturally attracts more buyers. The moment you stand out because of the sustainability, and if I'm living in that community, my energy is lesser, my health is better. Not just here, in many of the other advanced developed countries, and there are many examples where there is higher demand for buildings that are more green, that are sustainable. Naturally, we will have more greenery. That community will never have water shortage. And that community has a lot of energy savings. Definitely, it will have more takers. And the moment you have more takers, the price already goes up.
See, now we see a lot of apartments. I call them matchbox apartments, right? But can apartments or projects like that be sustainable? Because like you said, there's a lot of factors, right? You have the water and the air and enough sunlight coming in, but projects like that may not have those factors. How can a project like that get an IGBC certificate?
Of course, projects that have already been completed also can go to IGBC and get a certification. Even like your, let's say, 10-year-old apartment, you can go to IGBC and get yourself certified. They can suggest you. There are consultants. There is IGBC teams that can tell you what are all the things you can do. Let's say there is an apartment that's already done, completed, 10-year-old. You cannot increase the size of the windows, but you can probably certainly replace the entire common area lighting to LED from the regular incandescent bulbs. You can do sensors in parking. Only when you are walking, the lights gets turned on. So there are many things you can do. You can do rainwater. If you cannot do rainwater storage, you can do rainwater harvesting. Now storage is different from harvesting, right?
Harvesting is you go back.
It go back. So you recharge the table. Storage is again you're storing it for a later use. So storing is for your own reuse. Recharging it for yours and your neighboring communities also can get benefited from it. So that can be done. You can even do solar can be done. And I'm again engineering wise, I'm not very sure how efficiently it can be done, but I'm pretty confident that even water meters can be done. You charge everyone by their usage, and I can guarantee you the consumption will come 50% lesser. People won't stop taking baths. People won't stop doing whatever, right? But they will definitely start using lesser the moment they see they are being charged.
Will it also be a negative backlash, right? I'm like, for example, okay, I want to be sustainable, but again, I have to pay for water. Although the project itself is doing harvesting and storing the rain, right? But as an end user, I'm still paying.
But you end up paying lesser. That's what you have to see, right? If on one hand you're buying water through tankers, that's a lot more expensive. And water, like I said, it need not be fancy. You don't have. It need not be exorbitant. The idea is not to fleece money from residents. The idea is to charge enough just to make sure that you take care of those water meters, and then it's a sustainable choice. By doing that, you're drawing lesser water from the ground, which means you're leaving some more water there to be used for your summers as well. And during summers, this is like a huge mafia, that water tanker mafia. You know how it is, right? It's a huge thing. People don't get it, and then you have to wait in queue to get it from the government, and then you have to pay whatever else. All the luxury communities, the people who can bid higher, they get water, and the others don't get. So if you look at that way, at the end of the day, you'll probably be paying much lesser than a water tanker, and you're serving your community as well, your neighborhood as well, your ecology, your city, your surroundings.
I mean, overall, then it just expands.
It's so many things you can do just by having that conscious choice, and they're not very expensive. And
for the builder and for the end user.
Yeah, I mean, for the builder, and like you said, if there is an existing community wants to do it also, it's not really so fancy. Again, the intent is very important here. When all the community comes together, some 50, 100 apartments, and they want to make sustainable choice, they can all just come say, we are just damaging by not being sustainable. We are just consuming. We are not thinking about tomorrow. In that tomorrow, we are also there. Our kids also there. What can we do? So if you cannot do full terrace solar, start with 1/4 solar. You don't have to do it that way also, right? Just start with little, and then slowly you'll start seeing that your power bill is reducing, the common area bill is reducing. We have so many educated people, so many smart minds. Once they start thinking about sustainability, people can come together, and we all have solved so many problems by coming together, right? So even that existing communities also can do. Again, unfortunately, like I said, there are a lot of projects in pipeline right now that have been designed, under construction. They are not as sustainable as they should be ideally, but it's okay. I think hopefully it will change in future.
At least number of IGBC certified.
Yeah, like I said, between 2020 to 2005, only 500 projects being certified is not a big number. If you look at all the projects that were launched, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like maybe 10x, 20x projects that were launched.
100%.
In Telangana, I'm saying.
I mean, if you make it mandatory,
Yeah.
like RERA is,
Yeah.
then I think then it'll be a different ball game.
Yeah. Then you have to do few things like let's say if they mandate rainwater storage, developer will spend some extra money, but it makes sense that again at the end of the day, consumer has to pay. There is no doubt. It's a value for money for consumer as well.
It's an investment.
It's a very good investment, and you can avoid so many nightmares. Imagine not having water.
I can't. So, say as a buyer, right now, if I want to invest, I want to invest in a sustainable project, right? But if I want to find out what are these projects, where can I find them?
You can visit IGBC website. I'm sure there is some data there, or you can call IGBC folks. They can also share a list of IGBC certified projects. And like I said, I don't know if anyone can claim themselves sustainable but not be IGBC certified.
Right.
So IGBC is a decent go-to company or a place, a team you can go and get the data from for sure. And maybe you can do a simple Google search, IGBC certified project. Or
Okay,
whatever.
so I'll just
I'm sure. But otherwise, I think these days people are definitely talking about IGBC certification. They are publishing it in their brochures. If you have shortlisted, usually when people shortlist, which property to buy, usually the first thing they do, I think, is location.
Yeah, I mean,
they go to a specific location.
Yeah.
Based on naturally the budget they have. Okay, if they have 10,000 or 15,000, they might come to Nanak Ramgud or Kokapet, and then they will look for whatever based on their purchasing power. If they want slightly lesser, they might come to Kollur or Velimela, where we are located. And then when you shortlist some of these projects, you could go look for projects in that area. The brochures do talk about sustainability or the rating. In fact, our brochure talks about how many liters will the community save. Like we have specifically covered those details.
Okay.
Right? Our community saves 6 crore liters of water every year.
Isn't that too much?
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, you can see that's what it is, right? You can save. We are roughly, I think, 150,000 kgs of waste would be prevented from going to landfill just by resourcing in one community. I'm saying.
And imagine all the projects doing.
All the projects doing is by not doing sustainability, right? As a developer, I think you are doing a disservice to the society also.
Wow. I mean, I think it's an eye opener for a lot of people out there, right? Yeah. So if you have to give an advice, right? What would be your top 5 advices that you would give a developer and a buyer?
I don't know if I can name 5, but there are some advices I can definitely give. Of course, one of them being, sustainability. Definitely every developer has to, take an IGBC certification, become conscious about being sustainable. Like I told you about construction and demolition waste, certain materials. Platinum would be excellent, but at least they should strive to get to platinum, gold as high as they can. Everyone may not be able to get that kind of pricing in their sales.
Like if for platinum, it's about 2%.
Yeah, I think it will vary from 2 to 3% depending on the height of the building, depending on the size of the project and all of those things. But it shouldn't be more than 2-3%.
Okay.
So that's one thing I would definitely like to suggest. Second thing which we very consciously follow at Prosperity Homes is financial discipline. So I truly believe, we truly believe that most developers who have failed to deliver the projects on time, or they have failed in multiple aspects, is not because of lack of sales. I believe that there was enough sales, but there was probably some sort of a diversion of funds, misappropriation of funds, mismanagement, those things. So at Prosperity Homes, we have a fundamental core philosophy that financial discipline. This project's money will stay in this project, which is why I will even show you some of the visuals of our project. We are 5 towers 12-floor building, 468 flats. You will be amazed at the kind of progress we have made in the last 18 to 24 months. And we are 1 year away from handover, which is almost little ahead of the promised deadlines. So by being financially disciplined, we are able to deliver the project ahead of time during the slow period also. So financial discipline is very important, and putting customer first is, like I said, customer delight. We always think, what is it that the customer wants? We are not building this project as if, we'll build the project in 2-3 years, we are gone. And people are going to stay there. You have to be empathetic to the fact, like we discussed in the beginning of the podcast, 1 crore, 1.5 crore. For someone, it is their lifetime earnings. People pay their EMI for 20-30 years, which means someone who's at the age of 30, they are buying. They are going to pay EMI for 30 years. You don't want them to live in pain. So you have to have that empathy, customer first, towards the customer. So then you'll start designing the project. And of course, you have to be very mindful as a developer about the quality of construction.
Right.
You can't have cracks, you can't have seepages, you can't design something for the sake of just saying it on the brochure and not do it. Because like I said, they will live for the rest of their life, and we do not, definitely not a developer who just want to do whatever for the sake of making a buck here and there and then just leaving them high and dry. So I think for a customer, definitely, like I told you before, right, if they can have the mindset of, they start buying projects, investing in projects that have sustainability, IGBC certifications, they are not only making a right choice for themselves, they are also making a right choice for the environment. And of course, they have to really look into the background of the developers. They have to understand the philosophy. They can talk to the developers, they can talk to the directors, understand the DNA, their thought process.
Yeah.
Not just simply, of course, there are some reputed names that you can just, blindly go with. But people have burned hands with that thought process, that approach as well. So you can, talk to the promoters as well. Otherwise, I think usually customers do go with a location, right? I think West is right now a very good location to invest.
Yeah.
Followed by South. I think South is now picking up. There are many reputed builders going there. We ourselves are planning to launch a project in South as well as West.
Okay.
So we are quite bullish on both locations. So those two places are decent places to invest because of a lot of connectivity that is coming up. So yeah, I think that's what I would like to advise to the developers and customers.
Where do you see Hyderabad in the next 5 years, in your view?
I think it's going to be great. There's definitely so much of jobs coming, so much of industries coming, regardless of what government it is. I think with the last 10-15 years, we've seen that surge. I'm sure you know that last year we had a lot of office space absorption, which is going to result, convert into an employment. And this year also, I think the trend is going to continue. A lot of GCCs, global capability centers, they are coming and investing in Hyderabad. South is growing, West is growing, and hopefully there will be some connectivity around ORR also. I've always been thinking about it. I mean, not that we should do it, but government should come up with some bus shuttle service around ORR, right? So people who are living in the east and north side also can easily commute. So from Kompally, I'll take a bus shuttle and it comes to
It reduces emission carbon.
It reduces, it is sustainable option, and it will sort of decentralize. There's a lot of focus on West. I mean, I'm saying that as a developer, I might lose business in West, but it's good for the society, right? When the society, it sort of decentralizes and spreads evenly. And as a city, will be able to take advantage of the infrastructure that is being developed. We are doing 2030, 2050 master plans. The roads are nice, wider, the flyovers are there, the regional ring road is coming up.
Yeah.
I think it won't be an exaggeration to say that Hyderabad may take over in 5-10 years Mumbai and Bangalore as well.
Yeah. But I hope not in the way of the traffic.
Not at the cost of all the mess, whether it is traffic, infrastructure, or sustainability for that matter. Like I said, Delhi generates 11,000 kgs of waste. But I hope there is enough civic sense that we get that we'll be able to recycle 60 to 70%. Germany is the only country that does close to 70% of its waste is being recycled.
I don't know that.
We have capability in Hyderabad, but unfortunately we are not doing it. I hope in next 5-10 years, when we see growth, we are always talking about infrastructure, companies coming, employment, buildings and all of that, right? I hope the growth we wish to see in this sector also, we go from 15% recycling to 70% and maybe set an example and stand as an epitome or a testament to, and as an example to the country also.
Absolutely. I think Hyderabad is one of the best cities to live in.
Definitely.
I mean, I've lived in Bangalore, and Hyderabad is really, really very comfortable city to live in, right? So I hope things, like you said, grow in all directions, in all verticals as well. And for me, this conversation today has been very, how do I say, to understand that how you can do small things at your home and also as a community, in a community as well, right? And the kind of impact it has in your life and for the future generations to come. And I truly hope, like you said, that we go in that direction rapidly. And thank you so much for coming today. It's been a very, very, how do I say, eye-opener for me and all of us, I'm sure. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking all the time.
Thank you, Megha. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.